So we obviously went down to the route of asking the team that's, what would you call them now? They'd be the ones who are responsible to looking about people moving into the community. So we did all of that, and we went through, and we, eventually about a year later managed to sort of like move on, because I think it was a very new team and a new concept when we were looking about it. And I don't know whether Anne got lost somewhere along the pipeline or whether they were still trying to put things into motion. But when Anne did eventually come on it, she was actually part of the pilot scheme of how Northampton were going to be setting up this new direct budget and personal budget scheme. So first thing first, we had to see where Anne was going to live. Again, Madame Butterfly here insisted that she lived somewhere near where I lived, within walking distance, because I needed to be near to her. I needed to, if she wanted anything, Superwoman here was going to be the one who was going to rescue Anne, and that just showed that Anne still needed me, basically. So it's all about, my mum was coming out desperately, it was awful. So, but it's all about that, I was looking at my needs, and Anne wasn't really fussed, to tell you the honest truth, whether she lived near here or whether she lived miles and miles away. But Anne being Anne, and God bless her, she played along with me. I think she just likes to entertain me at times. So, but we did eventually find somewhere very near to me, literally 5 minutes walk away from me. When I went there, then I said, oh, that's okay, but how many people are going to be sharing this flat with Anne, sharing the block of flats? So they said 10 people, there's 10 other flats within the block. And I said, well, no, not for my sister, thank you very much. Can you find us somewhere else? But it so happened that across the road, there was another block with just 3 flats in. And they then offered me, well, offered Anne, not me, they offered Anne that particular block. And we said, we'll think about it. No, I said, I'll think about it. Because I then needed to make sure that the area that they were offering was going to be an area, to me, that was suitable, because there was a pub on the corner. So each night I'd get in my car about 10 o'clock and I'd drive down and see if there's any louts walking around on the streets, and looking around the area where the flat was going to be, where they'd be sitting on the walls and banging on her window or whatever, because she was a ground floor flat. And I must admit, probably for about 3 months, I saw nothing at all. So I was content with that. And in the meantime, they were setting up the flat, because they had to then repair the flat again. Anne was getting quite excited because we were buying things for the flat, and just adding to the bottom drawer to make sure that when she moved in, everything was fine. So we managed to move in and everything was fine, completely unbeknown to my parents, by the way, who were in Jamaica and hadn't a clue that we decided, Anna decided that she was going to live independently and I was going to help her to do that. So we just made out that, Anne was still happy. We didn't tell her where she was, we just said that she was very happy. As long as my mother knew that, then my mother was happy.